Breaking tonight, the Air Canada strike deadline has passed, setting the stage for most planes to be grounded.
It's just devastating for sure.
Travel plans canceled for thousands of Canadians, some already stranded.
The feeling of not knowing if you can go home, it is frustrating for sure.
What happens next with no deal in sight? Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin meet face-to-face on U.S. soil.
President Putin, will you agree to a ceasefire?
Trump's stated goal, ending the war in Ukraine, but the two sides fall short.
There were many, many points that we agreed on, a couple of big ones that we haven't quite gotten there.
The implications for a war that's already taken tens of thousands of lives.
From CBC News, this is The National with Christine Barak.
Thanks for joining us. We begin with breaking news. Canada's largest airline is now grounded. A strike deadline has passed for more than 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants. Hundreds of flights are canceled, impacting over 100,000 travelers, leaving some stranded. The federal government is calling the lack of progress unacceptable. Let's go to Yasmin Renea at Vancouver International Airport. Yasmin, what are you seeing so far?
Christine, cancellations, a lot of them across Canada and beyond. Air Canada says so far more than 600 flights have been grounded. Here at YVR, the Flight Status Board shows that almost all Air Canada departing flights are either canceled or are delayed. Air Canada says talks with the union reached an impasse. The union repeatedly rejected the Air Canada's request for the federal government to step in and force binding arbitration. Instead, the union said that it wanted to return to the negotiating table with Air Canada. Among the main sticking points in negotiations are wages and the unpaid work that flight attendants do before and after landing. Air Canada says that it is offering a substantial raise and some pay for that work that's done on the ground.
Yasmin, it seems the timing of this dispute is making the situation particularly bad.
Yes, absolutely. It's the very busy summer season. Air Canada says so far more than 100,000 people have been impacted, and it says that about 130,000 more travelers will see cancellations for every day that this work stoppage goes on. And we've heard so many stories from people at the airport, travel nightmares, from missed wedding anniversaries to huge price tags in the hundreds and thousands of dollars to rebook flights on different airlines. Here's more from some travelers.
My flight got canceled to São Paulo and then they booked it again through Boston, US, but I don't have a visa to go through US.
Our flight is delayed by about, is it 3 hours? But now it's 3 or 4, and that's not even sure. We don't even know, so it's just, it's kind of inconvenient.
Tried to call and it just said, "We're sorry. Our lines are currently down," blah, blah, blah. So yeah, we've been here for hours.
The advice for travelers is make sure that your flight is still operating before coming to the airport.
Yasmin, thanks for this. Yasmin Renea at the Vancouver International Airport tonight. In Alaska, a high-stakes summit between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin is now over, and there's no deal for a ceasefire in Ukraine. The Russian and U.S. presidents both suggest it was a productive meeting with some progress made toward ending Europe's deadliest war in 80 years, but their joint news conference featured more hints than facts. Ashley Burke now on what the two sides are sharing as the leaders of countries with a tangled past appeared to meet as friends.
Donald Trump clapping as an accused war criminal steps onto American soil. After invading Ukraine, Russia's president sanctioned, shunned, and shut out by much of the Western world. But now Vladimir Putin on a red carpet in one of the most powerful countries on earth.
President Putin, will you stop killing civilians?
The spectacle of this all, a powerful visual for Putin back home. But Trump said it was critical to meet face-to-face to try and end the war.
Mr. Putin, will you agree to a ceasefire?
Before these talks even began, Trump was clear. He wanted Putin to agree to a ceasefire and fast.
Let's go.
Journalists from around the world quickly moved out as the doors closed and talks began.
Everybody get out of the room!
After almost 3 hours of suspense, the two leaders suddenly emerged, Putin speaking first. Russia's president saying he hopes the agreement they reached will help pave the path towards peace in Ukraine.
There's no deal until there's a deal.
Trump didn't say what, if anything, was agreed on.
But we had an extremely productive meeting, and many points were agreed to. There are just a very few that are left. Some are not that significant. One is probably the most significant. But we have a very good chance of getting there. We didn't get there.
No specifics and no mention of a ceasefire.
We'll speak to you very soon and probably see you again very soon. Thank you very much, Vladimir.
Next time in Moscow.
Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't know. I'll get a little heat on that one.
In a rare move, Trump didn't stay to answer reporters' questions.
This is where you met, right in this room.
But did speak to Fox News afterwards.
I think are close to a deal, but I don't like saying it. I always say, if I'm really close, I say 50-50.
And he says they agreed on a lot.
When you talk to Vladimir Zelensky, what's your advice to...
make a deal.
Make the deal.
Gotta make a deal, yeah.
Trump says all three leaders are expected to meet, but didn't say when. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Washington.
Lindsay Duncombe is in Anchorage, Alaska tonight and was in the press center for the Trump-Putin news conference. Lindsay, what was the reaction?
I think there was surprise that we didn't get more details about what was specifically discussed, that the leaders did not take any questions, and that we do not know what impact, if any, this meeting could potentially have on the battlefield in Ukraine. In the absence of details, what stood out about today is the spectacle, that welcome from Donald Trump to Vladimir Putin with the red carpet, the military flyover. It certainly was something that the reporter who was reporting next to me noticed. She is reporting for a broadcaster in Ukraine. Here's what she had to say about Trump's welcome of Putin.
Today is Putin's birthday and Christmas and Victory Day and everything. It is a big day for Putin because he's out of international isolation and he got tons of attention and appreciation and love from Trump, and he's a winner in this situation.
And she did tell me she worries that what happens here today, or what happened here today, could make the situation on the battlefield in Ukraine worse.
And Lindsay, I understand this has been a divisive moment in Alaska with people both supporting and protesting this meeting.
Yeah, we did see protests over the past couple of days, including today, a protest where a huge Ukrainian flag was unfolded. It was 40 meters by 20 meters, and there was another rally in support of the summit taking place. One thing that stood out for me is just how frequently and how much Vladimir Putin talked about the historical and cultural ties between Alaska and Russia, a sign that the Arctic, the economy of the Arctic, the history of the Arctic is top of mind for Russia.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Lindsay Duncombe in Anchorage, Alaska tonight. Next, let's head to Murray Brewster in Ottawa. Murray, with no deal in place, can Russia and Ukraine keep this fighting up?
Well, that's a question a lot of people in the defense community are asking. Russia's pretty much exhausted its stock of Soviet-era equipment, which it's been using to fight the war. Its economy, despite the Kremlin putting the best face on it, is struggling. A recent report by a UK Defense Institute suggests that if Ukraine can hold on for one more year, it would push Russia over the edge financially. But can Ukraine hold on? And how much backing is it going to get from the US, if any? We're in wait-and-see mode right now.
Canada recently became one of several countries saying they're prepared to contribute troops to a peacekeeping force. How do you think the result of this summit will play out in Ottawa?
Well, it's called the Coalition of the Willing, and it's being led by France and the UK. We don't have a ceasefire yet, so no troops are going to be going anywhere. What we need to be watching for is President Trump said tonight that he's going to have a call with NATO. Presumably, that means he's going to be talking with NATO leaders, and we'll get a readout of those discussions. And included on that call will probably be Prime Minister Mark Carney. However, based upon Putin's 9-minute speech, it doesn't sound like he's backing down from any of his demands. And that's not going to play well with NATO leaders, including Canada. So I think we're going to have to be asking, what concessions is Russia offering, if any?
All right, thanks for this, Murray. Murray Brewster in Ottawa tonight. Later in the hour, David Common will break down the regions Russia holds and why the Kremlin's keen on gaining one particular territory in any ceasefire deal. Confirmation tonight that Prime Minister Mark Carney is set to visit Mexico next month as both countries navigate the U.S. trade war. Earlier this month, Trump increased tariffs on non-CUSMA compliant goods, but chose not to increase tariffs on Mexico. Carney's visit follows another recent trip by the finance and foreign affairs ministers, which they called a kickstart to a new economic relationship. Another delay in the drawn-out dispute between Canada Post and its 55,000 workers. Talks scheduled for today have been pushed to Wednesday because no federal mediators were available. It's been 2 weeks since union members voted to reject the latest offer. The union's ban on overtime work remains in place. There is fear and anger in Newfoundland tonight. Some are arguing more should have been done to stop a fast-moving wildfire that's threatening their homes. Karen Pauls got out in front of that fire to hear from people in its path.
In the name of the Father, not the Son, not the Holy Spirit.
A couple of times a day, Betty Clark comes out to her garage to pray.
Please send some rain to help us all out and keep us all safe.
Clark and her husband Joe live just minutes from the Kingston fire.
Everybody's devastated. And what do? It's a fire that nobody can control.
Newfoundland's largest fire has already destroyed more than 100 homes, businesses, and a school. The road is blocked off, but you can see smoke just over the hill. Crews working hard to build a fire break.
Just checking it all out, watching our shore burn.
Earlier this week, water bombers and other resources were stretched at times to tackle a fire just outside St. John's. Several suburbs were evacuated and about 14,000 people were on alert. That fire not yet under control, but the evacuation order has been lifted. The province defending its use of limited firefighting resources.
Decisions have to be made quickly, calmly, and rationally. They must be grounded in science and based on the fire conditions at the time.
Assuring people they have not been forgotten.
To those who have received that terrible, unfortunate news, who have lost their homes, our thoughts are with you all. And of course, those individuals who are still waiting word, we continue to think about you as well.
But some in the path of the flames just don't believe that.
He does nothing for us, nothing. And it proves to show that the North Shore got no support and no resources. None. Gone.
This here is probably precious to my son, so I taken that.
As his wife prepares for a possible evacuation, Joe Clark feels hopeless.
We're waiting to die, because that's what's going to happen to everyone. The North Shore is going to burn out.
There's been some rain here, a bit of what Betty Clark and so many others are hoping and praying for. But it wasn't enough to stop the flames heading this way. Karen Pauls, CBC News near Burnt Point, Newfoundland.
In Nova Scotia, more than 100 homes have been evacuated because of a growing out-of-control wildfire.
It was a little heartbreaking to go through the baby nursery and pick out all the items that we had just gotten as gifts.
Officials expanded the evacuation zone in Annapolis County overnight. So far, about 4 square kilometers have burned after lightning sparked the fire Wednesday. Tonight, a pilot is also recovering after crashing a helicopter while trying to fight the fire. Officials say he was conscious and speaking when he was rescued. Much needed rain has fallen on Vancouver Island, where an out-of-control wildfire has been burning for days. The fire south of Port Alberni, BC, is about 30 square kilometers in size. It has forced evacuations and prompted local states of emergency. Environment Canada says more rain will fall over the weekend. Talks have broken down at the United Nations, where countries were trying to find a way to deal with the growing problem of plastic waste. Jennifer Yoon on the impasse and the potential impact on human health.
Plastic pollution is in landfills, oceans, even our bodies. But at the United Nations, another attempt to curb plastic waste has failed, with countries clearly divided.
A treaty without production measures will be built on sand.
Canada aligns with
The majority of countries gathered, including Canada, want to reduce plastic production. But oil and gas nations like Saudi Arabia and the US blocked that. Most plastics are created from fossil fuels.
The discussion did not include recycling and waste management.
They want to focus on better design and recycling instead, despite only 9% of plastics being recycled globally, according to researchers. I'm angry because a small handful of oil-producing countries have blocked a treaty, says France's Minister for Energy Transition. Environmental groups are upset, too.
Consensus is dead.
Every day we fail to agree an effective treaty, more people are suffering from the scourge of plastic pollution.
Okay, so everything is going smoothly here?
Scientists have found microplastics throughout the human body, and they're just discovering how harmful it is for human health.
I don't think there's any question that these are having effects on our body, immunologically, etc.
The chemicals companies add to plastics to make them softer, colorful, or more flexible are also linked to health problems.
10 to 15% of cardiovascular disease can be attributable to plastics exposure.
It's unclear what comes next in the talks. They may resume in yet another session. Canada says it supports that. Some suggest the countries that want to cap new plastic production may break off and try to do so on their own. Jennifer Yoon, CBC News, Toronto.
American rapper Sean Kingston has been sentenced to 3.5 years in prison for his role in a $1 million fraud scheme. Kingston and his mother were convicted of wire fraud earlier this year. The pair obtained luxury items like jewelry and an SUV without paying for them. Last month, his mother was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Well, touted by Ottawa as a way for Canadians to easily explore their own country and offer a free access to national parks is drawing big crowds.
If you're going to invite the whole world here for free, you should be ready for it.
Why some say packing the parks is leading to problems next. Plus, countdown on Cree territory. A proud partnership leads to a historic rocket launch. And later, an East Coast purveyor of pizza offers up a slice of kindness amidst raging wildfires.
There's so many people that are working really hard to save property and lives. They need to be fed.
Feeding the firefighters in our moment. We're back in 2. The Canadian National Exhibition has opened for the 146th time in Toronto. Known for its bizarre food options, some of this year's offerings include deep-fried watermelon and chicken nuggets stuffed cookies. The CNE is Canada's biggest annual fair. It runs until Labor Day. The Canada Strong Pass opened the gates this summer, offering free admission to the country's national parks and historic sites. But as Sophia Harris reports, with more visitors comes more challenges.
Canada has everything.
Ottawa billed the Canada Strong Pass as a way for Canadians to more easily see their country.
All summer long for free.
The pass includes free entry to national parks and a 25% discount for camping.
Nothing's available.
But this Halifax couple says the pass makes seeing Canada more difficult because when they tried in June to book a July camping trip at a nearby national park, they were out of luck.
I anticipated with the Canada Strong Pass there'd be a higher demand for these campsites, but I didn't anticipate that it would be such a demand that everything was sold out.
Increased demand this summer also means more traffic. Banff, home to Banff National Park, is on track for a record-breaking year in traffic volume.
We are so glad that people can connect with their national park system, but we do know that we cannot handle that volume of vehicles into the long term.
Prince Edward Island National Park is reporting record numbers of visitors and at times full parking lots. The park is also pleading with visitors to stay off the environmentally sensitive sand dunes.
This year with parks being free, it is overcrowded. If you're going to invite the whole world here for free, you should be ready for it.
But Parks Canada says the crowds are well managed and nothing new.
We've been experiencing 8 consecutive years of higher than normal visitation. Connecting visitors to those sites is part of our mandate, so we happily welcome people.
As for this couple, they have another beef. International tourists also get free admission to Canada's parks this summer.
It's not just a canyon, it's the grandest canyon.
But the U.S. plans to introduce a surcharge next year for foreigners visiting its national parks.
The national parks will be about America first.
So it's a bit of a kick in the pants to Canadians.
Even so, there are no signs Ottawa will introduce a similar fee. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
A high-stakes summit between two of the world's most powerful leaders has ended without a deal.
The Russians are trying to put the Ukrainians into a position where they have to agree to a ceasefire.
What Russia may be after if negotiations heat up. Plus, a crucial tip released by the FBI in its search for a Canadian Olympian turned fugitive.
We're not going to comment on where these photos came from, but you're right, they were taken in 2024.
A CBC News investigation tracks where Ryan Wedding has been spotted. And we tracked down the Ontario man believed to be behind the world's most notorious deepfake porn website.
David, I can talk to you right now. I'm going to go to you.
The National breaks down the story shaping our world next. Breaking tonight, more than 10,000 Air Canada flight attendants are now on strike, and most flights have been grounded. The airline says more than 100,000 travelers are affected so far, a number that will likely increase drastically each day the work stoppage continues. The federal government has urged the two sides to reach a deal, but has not forced binding arbitration. University students in Quebec have landed themselves in the history books, completing a rocket launch that was 7 years in the making. Jayla Bernstein now on the moment the team got to see their work take off.
As dawn broke over the Cree nation of Mysticini in northern Quebec, a team of bleary-eyed Concordia students watched their dreams take flight.
This is insane.
The first rocket launch ever from Quebec and from Cree soil. The goal was to reach space, and while it fell short, it was still a triumph.
It's been a project that's been going on for like 7 years, and seeing it, you know, it's entirely built by students, and it's kind of like crazy to see innovation kind of happening in front of your eyes.
The team faced many hurdles to reach this moment, like the pandemic.
Through COVID, you know, students had to even test the engine for leaks in their own bathtubs.
Then there was the delicate journey to the remote launch site, hundreds of kilometers north of Montreal, plus Mother Nature's challenges.
We've been sleeping in tents for about 3 weeks, going through freezing rain, snow, crazy winds, being eaten alive by backflies. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love it.
The partnership with the Cree nation of Mysticini became something larger. The students looked for ways to integrate that culture.
They had this, wanted to come up with a name, a Cree name for their rocket. And so, we had Star Sailor, but it's in Cree, we also called it Chikabesh. Chikabesh means star boy.
Back in Montreal, this proud professor watched the launch from home with his son. He says the students showed what's possible, even without NASA's multi-billion-dollar budget.
We are able to do this in Canada. It is being done by students. And I hope this message gets heard by everybody around Canada.
Proof that determination can take anyone to new heights and inspire the next generation of minds. Jayla Bernstein, CBC News, Montreal.
Now let's break down the news shaping our world. Canadian Olympian turned international fugitive Ryan Wedding remains on the run, but there's been a recent sighting.
We're not going to comment on where these photos came from.
Using clues in an FBI photo, our visual investigations unit located where it was taken. But first,
I want to see a ceasefire rapidly.
Putin-Trump face-to-face in Alaska. On the table, land in Ukraine. Russia already controls a major chunk, but Putin's peace terms include taking Kiev's eastern shield, called the Fortress Belt. David Common looks at the regions already captured by Moscow and why the Kremlin's keen to take this specific territory as part of any deal.
Russia's war on Ukraine has been costly. 1 million soldiers killed or injured, the country's deficit dangerously high, its vital oil sector making ever less money. But in some ways, Vladimir Putin is winning. President Trump's invitation to meet one-on-one ends Putin's isolation and puts talks where Putin has long wanted them, with no other European leader at the table, not even Ukraine's.
He's getting a one-on-one meeting with the President of the United States. What does that say about the situation?
Situation suggests that the Russians are doing rather well despite the odds against them.
Putin's own goals, which the Kremlin reiterated before the summit, have not really changed. He wants control, not just of land, but of politics. Let's start with territory. Wars often end with borders drawn on land soldiers have already taken. Russia controls about 20% of Ukraine now, portions of these 4 Ukrainian regions. But Putin wants any deal to include every part of those regions, even territory Russian soldiers have been unable to seize by force. That includes the 50-kilometer stretch known as the Fortress Belt. Ukraine has poured resources into making this strip impenetrable to Russian forces.
So Putin wants any negotiated deal to make that Fortress Belt part of Russia. And that would remove a major obstacle should Russian forces at some point in the future decide they want to invade what is left of Ukraine. It makes it a lot easier for them to do that, and they have shown time and time again a willingness to break ceasefires or peace deals to go back into the country.
So we're at the point of negotiations now where the Russians are trying to put the Ukrainians into a position where they have to agree to a ceasefire. It's an armistice of some sort, and then they agree to a peace deal in which they are beholden to Russia's interest to stick with it.
President Trump has spoken of land being swapped in any deal. Ukraine has rejected giving up territory, but would Russia be any different? Trump has floated Russia surrendering seaside land that it currently holds. That is presumably here, near the Sea of Azov. Problem is, it's the strategic gateway to Crimea, which Russia seized from Ukraine by force back in 2014. Giving up the land leading up to it would be tantamount to giving up the peninsula. In short, it's not going to happen.
Another key Kremlin demand has been what they call the denazification of Ukraine. So what does that mean? Well, to many observers here in the West, it's about changing the democratically elected government in Ukraine, getting rid of them and replacing the government instead with one friendlier to Moscow, friendlier to Putin. That would allow Putin to have his way without having to use force.
Russia has what are called maximalist goals. It wants everything in return for ending its fight. Ukraine wants them to leave and give back the land they've seized. With such opposing views, what happens next? Well, Trump has repeatedly threatened Russia with huge sanctions, but always backed away. Russia's economy is hurting, but it's still so much bigger in every way than Ukraine, it can likely outlast them.
They keep reminding everybody they have the advantage on the battlefield. They are pressing it today. They will press it tomorrow, unless things go badly, but they're not going badly.
What is the risk to the Ukrainians if Trump hears Putin, believes his story, and moves forward with the Putin plan without Ukraine having a say, and Ukraine then saying, no, we can't accept territorial concessions?
Yeah, so they don't, and they keep fighting. That's really the answer. And they would fight with European support, and the Americans would, if Trump would feel frustrated, he'd walk away. He said that he could walk away. So it depends on his attitude.
If Trump believes that Ukraine is the barrier to a ceasefire, he could stop American weapons from ending up in Ukraine. And that would eventually cripple their fight to save themselves. Both sides do have the capacity, if they needed to keep fighting for at least another year. But of course, Christine, that would come at a very high cost, continued loss of life.
Back to the summit, David, quite the difference in symbolism compared to February's Oval Office meeting.
Oh, no kidding. Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky getting a dressing down from Trump and his vice president. By contrast, Putin today getting the smiles, the red carpet, the handshake, the ride in the presidential motorcade. Those are the images that will be used to celebrate in Russia. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, they'll be a cause of some concern.
All right, thanks for this, David.
Thank you.
Still ahead, a former Canadian Olympian accused of running an international drug trafficking ring and evading police for over a decade.
We believe Wedding is residing in Mexico and possibly living under protection of the Sinaloa drug cartel.
A CBC investigation pinpoints the exact location, one of the last known photographs of Ryan Wedding. That's next. Tracking an alleged Canadian drug kingpin, Ryan Wedding, among the FBI's most wanted. They've raised the stakes to find him. What the last known police photo reveals about where it was taken. Thomas Daigle takes us through how our Visual Investigations Unit traced Wedding to a spot in central Mexico.
This is one of the FBI's most wanted fugitives, former Team Canada Olympic snowboarder Ryan Wedding. He's been on the run for more than a decade, but we figured out exactly where that recent photo of him was taken. Here's how. When the FBI released the photo earlier this year, they wouldn't say where it was taken or exactly when.
Yeah, we're not going to comment on where these photos came from, but you're right, they were taken in 2024.
That's when I started working with CBC's Visual Investigations Unit to hunt for any clues in that photo. For years, Wedding had been evading authorities while allegedly running a transnational drug trafficking network linked to multiple murders. As for that one picture of him, there weren't many clues, so we teamed up with independent researchers from Germany and Switzerland linked to Bellingcat to examine the photo and look for any hidden details. Wedding is seen there wearing a Louis Vuitton t-shirt and what appears to be an LA Dodgers ball cap. There are shadows on his forearm suggesting there's a canopy above him. There's also a person down there, so it seems like he's on a raised platform. There's also this green column, a red circle and a black square, and this banner behind him. Zooming in, we recognize the image actually represents a car grille and stylized letters MODA. A search revealed that there's a Chinese automaker called Omoda. It's not well known here in Canada, but there are many dealerships across Mexico. One of the models in Omoda's lineup is the C5, an SUV with the front grille exactly the same as the one on the image behind Wedding. Now, looking at some of the dealerships, they had a very similar banner, so we checked every single Omoda dealership across Mexico. That was a dead end. This might be a good time to mention that according to court documents we reviewed, Wedding was spotted in January 2024 at a Starbucks in Mexico City, unknowingly meeting with an FBI informant, and it's possible that that one picture was taken the same day as that meeting.
We believe Wedding is residing in Mexico and possibly living under protection of the Sinaloa drug cartel.
But without any other clues, the researchers we worked with focused on that banner, finding one similar to the one seen behind Wedding. All of this leading the team to this marketing campaign for that Omoda vehicle, and the marketing manager who shared these two videos in April and May 2024 on her TikTok account. Videos show the exact same banner as the one seen behind Wedding. And then these clues. Notice that canopy above the entrance to this restaurant. There's also this column with what looks like a sticker in the right place. The location turns out to be Corolla Restaurant in Mexico City, close to the NH Collection Hotel. Now, for a brief period in 2024, there was an Omoda dealership 2 floors above the restaurant, which would explain that marketing campaign. The dealership isn't there anymore, but there are still photos showing the old location, including this image, which was part of a restaurant review on Google Maps. That put all the pieces together for us. As for Wedding, the former Olympian turned alleged drug lord, he's still on the run, with U.S. authorities offering a $10 million reward for information leading to his arrest.
Now, the FBI won't say whether they think Wedding is hiding in the Mexican capital, but the agency told CBC News they've launched a social media campaign in the surrounding areas, hoping to get information about Wedding's whereabouts. Well, in the spring, Eric Cito and the visual investigations team unmasked the Toronto man behind the AI-generated porn site Mr. Deepfakes. Here's how they did it.
That's it. So we get an interesting tip the other day about who's behind the most notorious deepfake porn website in the world, Mr. Deepfakes. For anyone who hasn't heard of this site, it's a place where you can find tens of thousands of videos, AI-generated porn of celebrities, even regular people. Anyone can have their identity stolen and turned into AI porn. And for a few $100s, users on the site will create custom videos of anyone, including violent scenes like these.
This is what it looks like to see yourself naked against your will being spread all over the internet.
I've been personally targeted by this. This is sexual violence.
This is my face. Belongs to me.
I do think there needs to be definite regulation and laws. It's disturbing.
People have been trying to figure out who's behind this site for years, and the tip we get points to someone you would hardly suspect. He lives an unassuming and respectable life, has a well-paying job as a hospital pharmacist in Canada, and he's a key person behind Mr. Deepfakes. Our visual investigations team, along with open-source investigative outlet Bellingcat and Danish outlets Checkday and Politiken, spent months using digital clues and looking at public records to locate, identify, and for the first time fully reveal who is behind Mr. Deepfakes. David, may I just talk to you right now? I'm reporter CBC. We came across your profile.
Yeah.
Safe to say that you did not consent to these videos.
No.
Put up.
No, absolutely not.
This is Gail Kim.
And the knockout champion, Gail Kim!
Kim is considered one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. And we found her on Mr. Deepfakes.
I haven't seen full-on videos. I actually don't want to know because it's just scary to think about these things.
The scary thing is, this can happen to anyone. There's tons of tools, even free apps, that let anyone create AI porn of anyone else. But to create higher quality deepfakes, it's a much more intense process. It requires expensive computer hardware and technical expertise. That's the content you find on Mr. Deepfakes. The website went from a few images and videos in 2018 to hosting almost 70,000 uploads by the end of 2024. At its peak, it had 650,000 users and millions of views a month. In some places like Australia, police have gone after deepfake porn creators.
Police still
This is police arresting an Australian man who made deepfake porn and who was also active on Mr. Deepfakes. Sharing non-consensual deepfake porn is illegal in places like Australia, South Korea, the UK, France, the Netherlands, China, and some US states. But there's no federal ban in Canada. Right now in Canada, it's not illegal to make this stuff. Do you think we need to push through on these laws quicker? What do you think?
Yes, 100%. I do think there needs to be definite regulation.
Our team spent months trying to uncover who this person is. A person who for years managed to keep their identity secret, until now.
He had not covered his tracks very well.
It starts with this username on Mr. Deepfakes, DPFKS. Our team put that username into a searchable database of info scraped from the web, including data breaches. And it revealed passwords, a Greater Toronto Area address that's blurred out on Google Maps, and personal email addresses with this name, Zui David Doe.
David Doe lives in the well-kept suburbs outside of Toronto. He has a well-paying job. He drives a new Tesla. Things on paper seem very normal for David Doe. However, really, he's been living a double life.
Here he is on the Oak Valley Health Network's Instagram page, in the mask at the back. He's been a registered pharmacist for the past 10 years, and he makes $121,000 a year.
You can see in the Instagram profile of the hospital, he's a good colleague, but then he has this dark side.
We call and email him, but he never responds. Though we know he's opened our emails because we've attached trackers to them. So we're gonna head out to speak to him in person. But let's back up for a second, because most of you probably haven't been to this website. So we're gonna take you through what we find. In addition to celebrities like Scarlett Johansson, Natalie Portman, Michael Bublé, Justin Bieber, there are politicians like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We also find private citizens, like this woman from Los Angeles who has nothing more than a social media profile on Instagram. On forums, there are naked photos of her. Some of the content we come across is really violent. This video is titled "Scarlett Johansson is Strangled to Death by Creepy Stalker."
And it can literally ruin, people's lives. And that's why things like cyberbullying happen and, a lot of people commit suicide.
There's also money being made. Creators say they can make low quality videos for as little as $50, while others go for more than $400. And remember that username DPFKS? They created 161 videos. He posts about already having made a few Selena Gomez videos, takes requests for singers like JoJo, and he seems to take pride in his craft, admitting in one post this video is not the greatest.
We've been trying to get a hold of Doe for weeks, and he hasn't responded to our emails or calls, so we're going to try to talk to him in person.
So it's just left at the stop sign up here?
It's like the second garage in, right?
Yeah, it's a few in there.
That's it. David, I can talk to you right now. I'm reporter CBC News.
I don't want to be part of this. We've been trying to talk to you for weeks about Mr. Deepfakes and your role in it, and why you do what you do. We just want to talk to you about why you do it. I know you have to go, but we want answers. We've been trying to talk to you for weeks. Sorry? Right now, all these people we talk to say they're humiliated, they're victimized.
Now, since Eric's story first aired, David Doe was fired from Oak Valley Health. More recently, politicians in the Netherlands and Denmark have called for his extradition, but Ottawa wouldn't say whether it's had conversations with either country. Coming up, a Newfoundland pizza shop steps up to feed volunteer firefighters.
There's so many people that are working really hard to save property and lives. They need to be fed.
Why they decided to show up for their community in our moment. Just some of the faces of Sliceberg Pizza, a food truck in Old Perlican, Newfoundland and Labrador, making meals to support volunteer firefighters. The shop has been delivering hot meals to people on the front lines of the wildfire fight for over a week. Tonight, their helping hand is our moment.
It all started by getting a phone call from some paramedics that knew us. They were up at the roadblock and they were starving. Nothing was open, including us. We got the ovens on, we got volunteers to come in. I asked anyone else if they wanted to send some food with us. Some people brought food and other people started sending us money to cover the costs. And it's just continued every day since. There's so many people that are working really hard to save property and lives. They need to be fed. It's just what you do here. If you ever need help, even if you don't know the person's name, they will drop whatever they're doing and they'll come and help you. I'm literally getting messages every day from the people who are in there fighting the fires, thanking us and everybody. It's really cool to be able to do what we do already, but in a much more important way. So it's great. It feels great.
It's truly inspiring to see the incredible ways people in Newfoundland and Labrador show up for each other. Don, who didn't grow up there, mentioned how magical it is to witness all this firsthand. He's now partnering with other restaurants to get supplies, raise money, and help keep the firefighters fed all day long. From all of us here at The National, thank you for being with us. You can watch anywhere, anytime on the free CBC News app and subscribe to The National's YouTube channel. I'm Christine Birak. Take care.